Good morning. In today's video, we are going to learn about a case of past adjustment where profits are distributed wrongly. There may be two cases when there is only omission of provisions, and second, when there is a wrong profit ratio. That means the profits are distributed completely wrong. So we are going to understand it with the help of two different questions. The procedure is same. First, we have to calculate the amounts to be given as per the provisions, say interest on capital, interest on drawing to be charged, salary, commission, whatever. Then consider whether profits were distributed in the correct ratio or not. If the profits are distributed in the correct ratio, then you can only take the amount of provisions, and that amount may be considered as wrongly distributed. But if there is incorrect ratio, means the profit are not distributed in the correct ratio, then in that case we have to consider the complete distribution of profit as wrong distribution. We'll understand this with the help of two different questions, and you'll be able to identify. Calculate wrongly distributed amount, that is the third part, that is according to the distribution we have to see. Then find the amount to be adjusted, the difference of the two, your provisions amount, correct distribution and wrong distribution. Then adjust the amount by passing an adjustment entry. The question is, the net trading profit of X, Y and Z for the year ended 31st December 2015 was rupees 60,000, and the same was distributed among the partners X, Y and Z in the ratio of 1:1:1. It was subsequently discovered that the under-mentioned transactions were not passed through accounts. Interest on capital at 5% per annum is omitted. Interest on drawings we are given amounting to rupees 700 to X, Y 500 and Z 300. Partner's salary to X rupees 10,000 and Y rupees 1500. Fourth, an agreed commission of rupees 8,000 payable to X arising out of a special transaction of the firm. The capital account of the partners were fixed, rupees 1 lakh for X, 80,000 for Y and 60,000 for Z. Give a single journal entry to record necessary adjustment. Now in this we are given only one ratio, that is 1:1:1. So that means there is no error in the ratio. The profits were to be distributed in 1:1:1 and are distributed in 1:1:1. So the difference is only because of your omissions of provisions. So we only have to consider that. In this case, we'll be considering calculating, as I told you, the steps are to be done. First step is you have to calculate all the amount of provisions, interest on capital, interest on drawings, salary and commission, and total of that. So the total will be the amount to be given to the partners. Then second step is you have to consider the wrongly distributed profit. And third step, you have to calculate the amount to be adjusted. First, interest on capital. On X capital 1 lakh, 5% 5,000. Y's capital was 80,000, so on that 5% it is 4,000. On Z's capital it is 3,000 on the capital of 60,000. So total interest on capital comes to rupees 12,000. The next is interest on drawings. We have to debit 700, 500 and 300 are the amounts given. So total 1,500 is to be debited. It is to be subtracted or debited. That's why it is written as negative amount. Then we have to consider salary and commission. Salary we had to provide to X rupees 10,000 and to Y rupees 1,500. So the total comes to rupees 11,500. And commission we had to provide to X at rupees 8,000. That's out of a special transaction. So now we have calculated all the amounts of provisions. So let's see what will be the total amount to be given to the partners if this is given according to the provisions. So for X, 5,000 plus 10,000 plus 8,000 and minus 700, that comes to 22,300. For Y, it is 5,500 minus 500, 5,000, and for Z, it is 3,000 minus 300, 2,700. And in total, 12,000 plus 11,500 plus 8,000 and minus 1,500, that comes to rupees 30,000. And your total must match in both the ways. From the total column, you can, and from the row, total amount to be given. From both the ways, horizontally as well as vertically, it should match. You do this just to verify whether you are totaling or there is no calculation error. Now, this 30,000 is the amount to be given as provisions. And as there was no error in the ratio, so we may take this 30,000 as the profit wrongly distributed, and the same amount is to be debited from partners in their profit sharing ratio. So if we charge this from partners in their profit sharing ratio, that comes to 1:1:1, 30,000 in 1:1:1, 10,000 each we have to charge. So this is the amount we have to take back from the partners, and we have to provide them the amount which is the total of your step 1, 22,300, 5,000 and 2,700. Now we have to find out the difference. If the credit is greater, the difference is to be written in credit. If the debit is greater, the difference is to be written in debit. So for X, it is 22,300 credit and 10,000 debit. So the net amount to be given is 12,300 credit. For Y, it is 10,000 debit and 5,000 credit. So 5,000 credit is the net difference. And for Z, it is 7,300 debit. Now these amounts we have to pass journal entry with. Journal entry, as the capitals of the partners were fixed, so journal entry should be passed through current account. So your Y's current account is to be debited, Z's current account is to be debited, and X is to be credited with rupees 12,300. So in this way, this is to be done. Now after this, let's understand another problem, another question in which there was a wrong ratio. Let's understand the difference between previous and this question. I have taken the same question with a slight change. The net trading profit of X, Y and Z for the year ended 31st December was rupees 60,000, and same was distributed among the partners X, Y, Z in the ratio 1:1:1. It was subsequently discovered that the under-mentioned transactions were not passed through the accounts. Interest on capital 5%, interest on drawings X 700, Y is 500 and Z 300, partner's salary X 10,000 and Y 1,500, agreed commission of 8,000 payable to X. So all the provisions, all the omissions are same as these were in previous question. Only the last one, profits were to be shared in the ratio 3:1:1:1, 3:1:1. So that means the profit sharing ratio is also incorrect. The capital account we are given are 1,80,000 and 60,000, and we are asked to pass a single journal entry. Now the only difference is the fifth point in this question. So you are given two ratio. One is 1:1:1 in which we have distributed the profit, and one is 3:1:1 in which the profits were to be shared. As we know that in P&L appropriation account, the divisible profit are to be shared in the ratio which is profit sharing ratio. So after provisions, remaining profits are shared in 3:1:1. So now let's understand this with the help of that table. So I have already done the previous part Interest on capital is to be credited, interest on drawing is to be debited, salary and commission. This part is similarly calculated as we have done in the previous one. Then we have to write one more column, profit share, and that is to be given in 3:1:1. And here this must be the amount of your divisible profit. So the total amount of profit we'll write after this. Correct amount of profit 60,000 total profit we have taken, and from total profit we have to subtract the amount of provisions. 30,000 was the total of provision, and after subtraction of that 30,000 is left, which is to be shared in the ratio 3:1:1. इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल 12,000 देना है, इंटरेस्ट ऑन ड्राइंग्स चार्ज करनी है 1,500 रुपये, सैलरीज देनी है 11,500 और कमीशन देना है 8,000. द टोटल इज 30,000 एंड फ्रॉम 60,000 ये 30,000 सब्ट्रैक्ट करने के बाद वट एवर लेफ्ट, दैट 30,000 वी हैव डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन द रेशियो ऑफ देयर प्रॉफिट शेयर. This is divisible profit. Be very careful at this point of time for this particular calculation. Okay, after that now we have to do the total along with this profit share. So X को हमें सैलरी देनी है, इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल देना है, कमीशन देना है और प्रॉफिट शेयर रहेगा 18,000. So his total will be 40,300. For Y it is going to be 11,000, and for Z it is going to be 6 plus 3 9 minus 300 8,700. So this way your 60,000 amount will be distributed, and total of the 60,000 should be equal from both the sides, horizontally as well as vertically. Now next step is, now you have to take complete distribution of 60,000 which was wrongly distributed in the ratio 1:1:1. So we have already given 20,000 each. So that 20,000 each should be taken back, and the profits are to be given in the correct amount as 40,300, 11,000 and 8,700. Now let's find out the difference in the same manner. So the difference comes to 20,300 is to be credited to X, 9,000 is to be debited to Y, and 11,300 is to be debited to Z. So your journal entry will be Y and Z's current account are to be debited and X current account is to be credited, as the profits were, as the capitals were fixed. So your journal entry will be Y's current account debit with 9,000, Z's current account debit with 11,300, and to X current account with 20,300. Now points to remember. If the ratio in which the profits were to be shared or distributed and the wrong ratio of distribution of profit are same, we should only consider the wrong distribution due to omission of provision. So as we have done in the first question. But if the ratio of distribution is also wrong, we must consider the total profit as wrongly distributed, as we have done in the second case. So this is what you have to be very clear about, whether the total distribution of profit is wrong or only there is omission of provisions. Okay. Second point, if the capitals of the partners are fixed, the adjustment entry must be passed through current account. This is the point which we have considered in both the questions. So after that, after this learning, I suppose you can do some questions based on this learning. One question I have given in the slide. You can take a snapshot of this particular screenshot, and then you can do it. And another, I have given some questions from the book, mark some questions from the book, T.S. Grewal 2020 edition. You can do illustration 44, 45 and 47. And the questions which are based on the concept are question number 65 and 72. Thank you.